2. What's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items, and today I have a very special guest, and special in the sense that he is knowledgeable about golf, and nothing else is special about him. Darren, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing well. Darnell and I work in the same office. I will go between calling him Darren and Darnell. It's just a reflex. But I mean, I haven't seen Darren in 3 months, so this is great. It's good to see you again.
It has been 3 months, hasn't it?
Yes. It just feels like a long weekend.
You have the facial hair to prove it.
Exactly. I couldn't have done this without the 3-month buffer.
Looks good.
Yeah, thanks. So basically, Darren, do you want to explain to everybody kind of like your background in golf and why they should trust you?
Sure. I'm 6 months shy of the senior PGA tour, about to turn.
And then I'll be your caddy.
Tour eligible. I was a prominent high school golfer in New Jersey. I played Division I golf.
Wait, give him the accolade, the best accolade ever. What is it? First team all century or something like that, or all decade?
First team all decade.
Century's better, but decade's okay.
Well, yeah. Actually, I don't even know if they did a century team, but so yeah, I was New Jersey State High School champion individual. I went to college at Old Dominion University for golf. It's Division I. After college, I turned professional, worked as a golf professional in New Jersey, played full-time with sponsors for a year when I believe it was 27, 28.
Wow, 70 years ago? Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah. There were still guys using wooden-headed clubs, I believe, at that time. I won a couple small mini-tour events. Came back up to New Jersey, worked a couple more years in the golf business, and then got out of the golf business when I was 30 and went into real estate.
Yep. And Darren's still a very good player. Still, what, like a 1 handicap, 2 handicap right now?
Yeah, I think it's at a 1 right now.
Yep. So some people out there who are watching this, you don't know what that means, but it basically means he's a very good golfer. So basically the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to say the names of professional golfers, and then when Darren's interested in somebody, he's going to kind of stop me and say that he likes them or doesn't like them. If he doesn't have an opinion on a player, we're just going to pass right over them as they deserve to be passed over. So before we get into the golfers, is there anything specific about this tournament that you think is worth talking about?
Sure. A couple of things. One, it's going to be played at the same golf course as next week's tournament, which is the Memorial. So it's going to be the first time since 1957 that the PGA Tour will play consecutive weeks at the same golf course.
Why are they doing that?
Now,
are these both in Scotland?
Yes, they're both playing at Muirfield Village in Ohio, which is Jack Nicklaus's course. And they are doing it, I forget the reasons. Obviously, it's COVID related, and they initially, up to maybe a week or two ago, this was going to be the first week that they were going to allow some patrons on site, but that is not the case. What they're going to do is set up the golf course differently for the 2 tournaments. So the thing that you'll want to know, or that will, I guess, affect the way I judge some golfers, is that the setup for this first week is going to be pretty significantly easier. The green speeds will be slower, the rough will be less, they will be extending the rough by at least an inch for next week. We'll jack up the green speeds, probably make the greens a little firmer as well.
Yeah, so before you move on from that, so can you explain why faster or slower greens might be important? Like what's that going to do to the kind of golfer you want? Are you going to want the better putters or the weaker putters? Like which one benefits more from that?
Well, I think the weaker putters will fare better on slower greens, just because they're just going to be less challenging. Making 10-footers with all things being equal and not a lot of speed, everyone out there can handle it when the greens get very fast and your touch and your direction need to be at its sharpest. Then the better putters will fare better.
Yeah, and then
with that said, one of the worst putters, or at least has had some major issues, won there a couple of years ago, which is Jason Duffner, which will contribute to, but that would be then ball striking being the other real prominent feature of the golf course. So that will kind of lend into the reasoning for some of the guys I may or may not like.
Okay, so everybody's going to be able to see. Right now, I have a tab open with the roto grinders. It's basically like remember that when I remember when I printed out the 5 years of course history and I gave it to you like for like one of the big tournaments. So that's basically what I have on the screen right now. So I'm gonna use that to go from the bottom to the top. It might not necessarily be like in salary order, but it's just an easy way to kind of organize everything.
Okay.
So let's just get started. You ready?
Let it roll.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Great. All right. So first up, and remember the rules. If you don't have an opinion or just don't give a shit about them, then just don't say anything. Right? All right.
Understood.
First up, Martin Trainer, Kevin Stadler, Michael Kim, Jerry Kelly, Bo Van
Jerry
Jerry Kelly.
The only thing about Jerry Kelly, a senior tour player, probably got an exemption for this. Very good player. If the golf course plays the way they're going to set it up, which I think might be a little bit shorter, he may fare okay. Still a very good player on the senior tour.
He was on the tour within the last 2 years, right?
What's that?
He was on the tour within the last 2 years, right?
Michael? Yeah, I think he's. Yeah, I think only in the last couple of years has he been on the senior tour. Good player. Every once in a while, one of the senior tour player guys comes out, makes the cut, plays well. So again, not a tournament favorite, but interesting that he's playing and could conceivably play well.
Okay, next up, Bo Van Pelt, Lucas Beauregard, Jim Herman, Matt Evans.
Jim Herman's interesting. Very streaky. I think he played well a couple weeks ago. I don't think he made the cut last week. One of those where I wouldn't be surprised if he played decently. I think he likes that golf course, if I remember correctly.
He has a 19th a few years ago. He finished 19th a few years ago.
Okay. Yeah, and he's usually a pretty good ball striker. The only thing that worries me is his 2 weeks ago made the cut, played well. Last week didn't, so maybe a little bit of a crapshoot. But
what do you think the upside is? Like making the cut is kind of where his upside is.
I think he could be a top 20, especially if they set it up easy.
Okay.
With this, I think so. Not my first guy to be a top 20 as far as dark horse is concerned, but someone who's, I wouldn't be surprised. How about that?
Yeah. So your video is kind of freaking out right now, but I can still hear you. So you have this like weird posture right now where your hand is like behind your head. It's pretty funny, but
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll see we'll see if it unfreezes. If it's a problem, then we'll stop and have to start again. But we'll just keep going, okay?
Okay. Yep.
All right. Next up, Matt Every, VJ Singh, Roger Sloan, Chase Kepka. There you go. You're back. Chase Kepka, Hank the Body Lebioda, Rob Oppenheim, David Hearn, Sebastian Capellan, Brian Gay,
How are we doing?
It's kind of freezing a little bit. Did you turn off your camera, or what'd you do?
Yeah, it disconnected, so I'm going to keep the camera off.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
So, how should we do this? Okay, fine. So Darren's camera broke because that's what happens when you put a camera or a mirror in front of Darren. So we're gonna turn off his camera to save everyone the trouble of looking at him, and we're just gonna have him respond to names. Darren, is that okay with you?
Perfect.
Have I offended you?
No.
Have I offended you in the past?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so let's just go back to a couple golfers ago, and we'll see what you think. So Vijay Singh, you were quiet last time.
I was quiet only because I think I was distracted by the phone. Vijay, I don't think has made a cut yet. He's played in a couple tour events. I think he likes Memorial. I consider him, again, another senior tour dark horse, especially, again, he still hits it long. The golf course will be playing shorter. The premium won't be on putting. He's not that great of a putter, but he's a good ball striker.
Okay. So yeah,
enough said.
Basically, I think you remember from when we've talked about this in the past. So right now we're talking about golfers that are like under 7,000. So in order for you to roster one of these guys, all they really need to do is make the cut, and they need to kind of allow you to get to some higher tier golfers that you wouldn't have access to otherwise. So for these golfers down here, making the cut is a good thing, but it's not necessarily what we're judging them on. So if you think that the player has like top 30 upside or top 40 upside, then
sure,
that's who we should stop at, or that's who you should stop me for.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Next up, Roger Sloan, Chase Kepka, Hank Lebioda, Rob Oppenheim, David Hearn, Sebastian Capellan, Brian Gay, Robert Streb, Bo Hoag. That's a great name. Peter Malnati. I feel like we're playing like bingo right now.
Yeah.
Grayson Murray. Zinjun.
Yeah.
What, Grayson?
Yeah. I just have a little bit of feeling. I believe he's played in the before and played pretty well at Memorial.
They have him as a 73rd and a 35th.
Okay.
All right. Next up,
Go ahead.
Zinjun Zhang, the cheater.
I don't know if this course favors cheating.
Every course favors cheating, Darren. Fabian Gomez. Patton Kazire. Mark Anderson. Chris Stroud. Scott Harrington. Kevin Tway. You think these guys are a bunch of losers, huh? Jonathan Bird.
Kevin Tway possibly. I think he's played okay this year. But again, you want me to stop for top 30, top 40? Maybe look elsewhere. Continue. Jonathan Bird?
Will do. Jonathan Bird, Ted Potter, Zach Blair, Robbie Shelton, DJ Trahan, Bo Hostler, Luke Donald, Bronson Burgoon, Denny McCarthy, might be related to me, not sure, JJ Spawn, Austin Cook, Sam Ryder, Tim Wilkinson, K.H. Lee, Jamie Lovemark, Nate Lashley, Brandon Wu. I don't even know half of these names. I know most of them, but I mean, some of these guys are like random guys. Maybe they're like first-year players, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I believe, Mike, do you have Zach Blair? Go back a few. Do you have Zach Blair's past performance here?
Yeah, he has been 63rd, 27th, and 61st.
Okay. All right.
So we had Jamie Lovemark, You said no?
Jamie Lovemore, yeah. I for some reason, if I remember correctly, his short game is not so great, but he hits it very far. I'd give him a chance at a top 30, top 40.
Yeah. Okay. Then we had Nate Lashley, Brandon Wu, Aaron Baddeley, CT Pan, Charles Schwartzel.
CT Pan, I know he's a favorite of yours.
Not a favorite, but he is somebody I look to use.
He has played well. I don't know about him this week. You mentioned Charles Schwartzel.
Yeah.
Normally, I would say I like him a lot, and maybe actually I might like him better next week. He's typically not he's not going to shoot 18, 19 under par.
Okay.
And that's the other thing for everyone watching. If you have anyone you like who has played well in shootouts like last week, where your winning score is going to be in the high teens, this could be the course. I think they're going to have it set up where they're looking at 18, 19 under par.
All right. Siwoo Kim.
Always dangerous, always possible. I think he could play well at a low scoring golf course or play well where it's, again, another shootout.
Yeah, I love Siwoo Kim in general. Next up, James Hahn, Andrew Putnam, Matt Jones, Chris Kirk, Adam Schenk. Great golf.
I like Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk has been playing well.
Didn't he play really well last week? Wasn't he like...
He won 2 weeks ago on the web.com tour. He took a year and a half off for alcohol. He's been sober about a year and a half.
Good for him.
Feels like a different person, he said, and won last week. And I would put him up there for sure.
Okay. Adam Schenk, Keith Mitchell, Sung Kang, Mackenzie Hughes. Is he going by Mac now? It's kind of weird.
Sung Kang. I think again he's definitely a top 30, top 40 chance. I wouldn't say a favorite for that, but again, dangerous also, like Siwoo Kim.
Yeah. Okay. So like right now we're getting close to the threshold for like where you kind of have to step up the criteria where like it's not good enough to just be top 30, top 40 because like salary, but we'll just keep going. I'll tell you when we hit that point. So Keith Mitchell is somebody that I'm pretty interested in. I think that he's a golfer that I always think about rostering, but I don't know about him this week. So then we had Mackenzie Hughes, Richie Wierenski, Cameron Percy, Steve Stricker, Jimmy Walker, Dylan Fratelli, Sepp Straka, Chesson
I like Dylan Fratelli. I mean, if you're still thinking him top 30, top 40, or if he needs to get into the top 20, maybe not. But for some reason, I think he'd be a good pick for top 30, top 40.
Okay. Okay, Dylan Fratelli, Sepp Straka, Chesson Hadley, Nick Watney, Stuart Sink.
Nick Watney, this may be his first tournament back after the COVID, because he tested positive.
Oh yeah, he did.
Well, yeah, so I would probably stay away.
Okay.
I'm sorry, who did you mention before?
Chesson Hadley.
Nick. And then who did you mention after?
We had Sepp Straka, Chesson Hadley, Nick Watney, Stuart Sink.
I think Stuart Sink. No, that's right. Go ahead.
All right.
Keep going.
Cameron Davis, Michael Thompson, Hudson Swafford, Joseph Bramlett, Graham McDowell, Brian Stewart, Ryan Armour, Sebastian Munoz, J.B. Holmes, Henrik Norlander, another one of my favorites, Troy Merritt, Tom
Troy Merritt played very well last week. I would put him up there for sure.
Okay.
Because if this last week was a shootout, this week will probably be the same. He was 18, 17, something like that. He was very well under. I like him as a
he was at
streaky
15.
player.
He was at 15, and on Sunday he had a 71.
Yeah, he didn't have a great Sunday, but a bunch of guys did. So
Yeah. What was last week? Par 71?
I believe it was. Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. So Troy Merritt, Tom Hoagie, Sam Burns, Aaron Wise, Danny Lee, Andrew Landry, Bryce Garnett, Luke List, Jason Duffner.
I like Luke List. I definitely like Luke List, especially if it's going to be played short and putting is not going to be the same as it is next week. I like Luke List.
Yeah, so last week he was tied for 21st and was 13 under, 20 birdies, 7 bogeys.
Yep.
All right. Another good one.
Duffner next.
Yeah, so then we have Duffner. So
Duffner, if Duffner doesn't play well this week, I would 100% take him next week.
Yeah, so just looking at course history, in the last 3 years, he won this 3 years ago, missed the cut, and then finished 7th last year.
Yep.
So this is the kind of thing where he's going to be very popular for DraftKings.
Yep.
So he'll need to perform really well to be a difference maker, I think. Taylor Gooch, Russell Knox, Phil Mickelson, Matt Wallace, Lonto Griffin.
I like Phil, and I like Russell Knox. Again, are we at the point where we need top 20s? With these players?
Russell Knox is a little bit lower salary than the other guys that I'm about to start mentioning.
Okay.
Actually, I shouldn't have switched that. 1 second. Let me refresh that. So we have Russell Knox and then Phil Mickelson, Matt Wallace, Lonto Griffin, Nick Taylor, Brendan Steele, Adam Long, Pat Perez, Vaughn Taylor, Carlos Ortiz, Harry Higgs, Emiliano Grillo, one of my favorites. He's burned me a few times recently.
He played well up until the weekend this past week.
Yeah, his course history in the last 4 years, he has 3 top 25s at this course.
But are they playing? But this is going to be a different golf course. Remember, they're playing. They're playing Muirfield Village this week, so this tournament is normally held somewhere else.
Okay.
So you got to take that into consideration.
Okay. So, but like in general, like Emiliano Grillo's game, doesn't it fit for if it's like slower greens and you don't have to be a long hitter? Isn't that like a good thing for Grillo?
Yeah, I think he could play well here. I think he's actually played well at the Memorial, which is where this golf course is. And I think probably has some confidence. I could see him as a dark horse.
Okay. Sure. So, okay, Grillo, Scott Stallings, Kyle Stanley,
Stallings came out. I played well at the beginning of last week's tournament, and then faded. I'd stay away. Too much.
Okay. Kyle Stanley, Charlie Hoffman, Cameron.
Charlie Hoffman. Sure. I would look at, if anyone's thinking about Charlie Hoffman, look at it what he's done the last 2 weeks on tour. Because I haven't followed him that much. if he's been playing decently, he'll play well at the Memorial. He'll play well at this golf course.
Okay, so he's a good course fit, but you don't know about his form?
Yes.
All right.
Well said.
So the one thing I'd say that you may have potentially missed, which is like one of the reasons I look at something like Roto Grinders, is Kyle Stanley in the past 3 years has finished 6th and 2nd at this tournament. So I don't know if they're using the course history from this tournament or from this course. But Kyle Stanley seems like the kind of guy that would be in that same like Jason Duffner mold, though, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Kyle's a good ball striker. I didn't say anything when you brought him up, but I hesitated. I thought about it.
All right. So then we had Cameron Tringali, Charles Howell, Cameron Champ.
Tringali's played well. Okay.
Tringali's played well, what, in like one of the recent tournaments?
Yeah, in the last couple weeks. I think he's probably trending decently, but...
Yeah, so far he's 12 for 14. In the last 4 weeks, he has 3 top 30s and a miscut.
Okay.
Which isn't terrible, but it's not great. Charles Howell, Cameron Champ, Matt Wolf, Patrick Rogers, Ches Reavie.
I mean, Champ and Wolf are, I think no-brainers in the sense...
they have that upside.
I think they have definite upside on this golf course. I think they, this is a very quality golf course, and I think they can both play quality golf courses.
Okay. So then we got up to Ches Reavie, Russell Henley, Jonathan Vegas, Ryan Palmer, Louis Oosthuizen.
Ryan Palmer played well last week. Again, another low-scoring week. He's a little older. I think he's just in his 40s.
Wait, I don't think... Did Ryan Palmer play last week?
Yes.
He's not on the... DraftKings doesn't have his like results from last week. Was he like a late ad or something?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right.
I believe it was Ryan Palmer.
No big deal. Louis Oosthuizen, Matt Neesmith, Brant Snedeker, Keegan Bradley, Corey Connors, Zach Johnson, Jason Kokrak, Jordan Spieth, Rory Sabat.
Yeah, Spieth. I mean, roll the dice. You may get 3 good rounds out of him. You may get 2 good rounds. He's yet to play 4 good ones.
Yeah.
I think that's his only thing that worries me about picking him.
Yeah, so the last time he played was at the Travelers, and he had 4 rounds under 70, which is like a separate bonus for like DraftKings. But he finished 54th, so not a huge performance there. Rory Sabatini, Bud Cauley, Jim Furyk, and I guess for the rest of these guys going in, it's got to be like you see top 10 upside.
Okay.
Jim Furyk, Jason Day, Scotty Scheffler, Shane Lowry, Max Homa, Kevin Streelman, Mark Hubbard. What was that from?
For Streelman, he played well. He played well at the Travelers. I don't know if he played last week.
So Kevin Streelman, he has a 4th place finish here, 44th, 13th, 8th, and 18th.
Yeah, and I think he plays well at the Memorial. I'd consider him.
Yeah. Okay.
I would definitely consider him.
I think based on this course history, he's probably going to be more popular than he normally would be as well. Just as a warning. Mark Hubbard, Bubba Watson, Ian Poulter, Maverick McNeely, Harold Varner, Joaquin Neiman.
I like Poulter.
Poulter?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you like the European team in the Ryder Cup because you're a psychopath.
I don't know. I think he likes golf courses like this, and he likes good quality plays. He plays up to that level. I like him, and I wouldn't be surprised again if Harold Varner played well. Top 10, I don't know, but certainly a top 20.
Okay. Neiman, Ben On, Joel Damon, Billy Horschel, Matt Fitzpatrick, Mark Leishman, Matt Kuchar. I think this is Kuchar's first week back, right?
It could be, yeah.
Adam Hadwin.
I think back to Fitzpatrick. Really, really, really good putter. I think he played well within the last week or two. I could see him playing well at this golf course, and I could see him playing really well the following week at the same golf course in tougher condition.
That'll be cool. When we come back next week, hopefully you can join us next week. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what your take is.
Depends on how well my selections go, whether I'll be invited back.
Very true. Sung J M, Victor Hovland. Now we're at the upper echelon. These guys are basically, if they don't top 10, then they're gonna probably hurt your lineup unless you got unless you had some low owned guy that went off. Like these are the guys that will potentially screw your entire lineup if you miss. So Victor Hovland.
So I was going to say, so basically, if you have a really super strong feeling on these guys, because they obviously, everyone is expecting them to do well, they need to do really well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's that, but it's also like their price. So you have to spend the money to get them into your lineup, you know? So it's like, it's by taking this player, you're going to basically make it very difficult to roster two of them in the same lineup without getting like really like a bottom of the barrel kind of player. So you have to be like highly selective with these guys coming in. And for these guys, these are a lot of the like more important names that people are going to try to consider. So I would say like you could probably just speak about every single one, where it was like if you have a feeling about how they fit this course or something like that, or like something about their recent form. Like any kind of information is good for these guys. So that tier probably starts at like Sung J M. So Sung J M, last year he was out of control. This year not so much. 16 for 18 in terms of making the cut. He has a win in February, and then he came in third the next week. Then he came in 10th. Then he had a cut, and then he was outside the top 50 back-to-back weeks. So he did play last week, but didn't play that well, I guess.
Plays a lot of golf.
What's that?
I said he plays a lot of golf.
Yeah. Very true. So with Sung J M, do you remember like the kinds of tournaments that he won last year? Were those the kinds of tournaments that went extremely low? Because this one, the Honda Classic, he came in first place with 6 under. At the Arnold Palmer, he came in third place at 2 under. And then Charles Schwab, he came in 10th place at 11 under.
I didn't recall that he was such a good, tough golf course player, where the scores are high. So I'll let you more comment on him. I know he plays a lot of golf.
Is he the?
And you're going to tend to be.
Is he the kind of guy that
you would very hard to be very consistent?
Is he the kind of guy that you think might be better next week than this week because under the tougher conditions, maybe fade him this week, play him next week?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, Victor Hovland, another one of my favorites. Last year we did a Masters pool, and I had Victor Hovland when he was an amateur because I am great at this. Yeah, but that was pretty fun, that tournament. So, yeah, Victor Hovland, he's the kind of player that he always has a chance to compete.
He does, and he's another one where his short game, admittedly, is not great.
Yeah. Do you remember do you remember that one chip shot that he hit?
Out of the 2 weeks, I like him this week as opposed to next week.
Do you remember that chip shot that he hit where he
he hit many times?
Yeah. That was pretty funny. We've all been there. At least I have.
I have, sure.
I played Ballyowen.
Played the game, you've been there.
I played Ballyowen a couple days ago. I don't know if I told you that. But we'll talk about that when this is over.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so Victor Hovland, better this week than next week. Ricky Fowler. Did you see anything last week that made you like him more or less?
He showed some signs, I thought. I thought he played, he had a good Sunday final round. Now, if you're looking for him to be inside the top 10, I don't know if I'm ready to see that from him.
Okay. And then this week compared to next week, do you think that he has a better chance when it's closer to par?
I think it will all depend on how he plays this week.
So
I think he seems to be going in the right direction.
Okay.
And if he plays pretty well this week, I think he would play even better next week.
Is DeChambeau not playing this week?
I don't know.
I guess he's not in the field right now. That's weird.
Yeah, he'll probably since he's won at Memorial, which is next week. I'm sure he'll be at Memorial, so maybe he's not playing the one leading up to it.
Okay.
Which is, even though it's the same golf course.
Sure. So that's Ricky Fowler. Colin Morikawa finally missed a cut.
Finally missed a cut. I think did he take? Wait, didn't he miss the cut 2 weeks ago, or did he miss it this past week?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, at the Travelers, he missed the cut.
Yeah, so he probably took a week off. He probably needs to recharge his battery. I still don't like him for a top 10.
Okay. So, looking at his recent history, at the Charles Schwab Challenge, he came in second at 15 under. So, is he the kind of
different golf course, but he can play low.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah. I mean, listen, would I be surprised if he played very well? No, but at this price level, do I think he's a lock? No.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Up next, Justin Rose. What do you think?
I like him better at Memorial the next week.
Okay. Yeah. So looking at his past course history here, or at this tournament, I guess, he had 13, 6th, and 2nd, and then he has missed 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts this season already, I think.
Yeah.
Out of 9 events. So that's pretty risky. He's the kind of player where if you want to take a risk on him, you'll probably be at a little bit lower ownership. But does he typically do well in like shootouts or no?
He can kind of do it all. I mean, his putting has improved so much over the last couple of years that he can make a lot of birdies. And obviously, when he's playing, well, not even great. If he's playing well, his ball striking is very good.
Yeah.
So again, he's one of those. I'd like to see what he does this week, and then that would really make me think about him next week.
All right. Next up, Gary Woodland. Not a fan.
Again, top 10 lock. I'm going to say no.
All right. Patrick Reed.
No.
Are you pro Patrick Reed or anti Patrick Reed, or do you not care?
No, I'm it's just judging him by his playing and everything like that. He's played really pretty consistent this year. He's played well. Excuse me, but I think he's another one I like more next week.
Okay. Brooks Koepka. He's pretty good.
Yeah. I like him as much as I'm not a huge fan of his. I would like him to play. I think he's had a week off. I don't think he played last week. If I'm correct.
Yeah, I think he's missed a few weeks.
Yeah, and he was starting to trend in the right direction. I think he'll actually play pretty well.
Okay. Next up, Xander Schauffele.
I mean, you follow him where he's played played well, I guess, last week too. And he can play well in those shootouts as well.
Yeah, so he's another guy. I think the last tournament he played was Travelers.
Okay. Yeah, again, not like my top three maybe picks, but I'm sure I guarantee a cut.
Did you just curse Xander Schauffele?
I know it's
God.
What's that?
Did you just curse Xander Schauffele's entire career? Is he never going to make a cut again?
No, I'm saying he will make the cut.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You jinxed him.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, Xander's the kind of guy, whenever he plays, I think he has a realistic chance of winning the tournament and being a top 10. He's like another all-around golfer that he's like, obviously he's not Justin Rose in terms of like a career, but there isn't a tournament that he plays where you're like, oh, I don't know if he has the game for it. Like he's won at a bunch of different, or he's won or at least competed at every type of tournament that there is.
Agree.
Yeah. Next up, Jon Rahm.
Wait till next week.
Okay. Do you hate Jon Rahm or no?
No.
Okay.
No, I think Rahm's great.
Good. Justin Thomas. 2 top 10s in the last 3 years at this tournament.
Yeah, I don't think Justin Thomas has not played in a couple weeks. I think he's taken the last couple weeks off.
Yeah, his last event was Travelers.
Yeah, I know he likes the golf course, but I don't know if he's ready for a top 10 right immediately.
Okay. Fair enough. Hideki.
Yeah. I like. He's played well there, I know, at the Memorial. And he's not the best putter.
Yeah.
So him at a shootout, I don't.
I think shootouts are more of his thing. Like a couple years ago when he was playing out of his mind, I think he was playing well at like every tournament. Like he was just in insane form.
Yep.
But yeah, Hideki's tough. He's like one of the streakiest players on tour. Like when Hideki is on fire, it's tough to compete with Hideki. Yeah, I'm a huge Hideki fan. I had him last week. I don't know if I'll have him again this week. And then the last golfer, Patrick Cantlay, the winner of last year's tournament.
I like Cantlay. I'm sorry. Go back 2 more golfers before Hideki.
We had
before that?
Xander, Rahm, Justin Thomas, Hideki, Patrick Cantlay.
Justin Thomas. Cantlay. I mean, out of those 2, I think I would still. I would probably pick. I know I thought Justin Thomas might not be ready, but I don't know. He's played really well this year. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to say I might like him for a top 10. I know he likes the golf course a lot.
Okay, so that's it for all the golfers. So if you had to pick 3 golfers to build your team around, who are the first 3 that you would kind of look to?
Who were the first? I would do Kepco. Who else did I like in there?
Justin Thomas, Xander, Brooks, Fowler, Hovland.
Hovland, Wolf. One of those 2. I think you could do either or on. Then the other player. Who did you just mention before that? I'm sorry.
Hadwin?
No. Xander.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you had Brooks I know that the cost is probably cost prohibitive, but Brooks, Xander, and either Hovland or Wolf,
Yeah.
all.
At least 3 of those guys are going to be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So basically, I think for a first golf show for Darren, I think pretty good job. Definitely room for improvement, Darren. I hope you do your homework this weekend. Basically, I expect Darren to watch every single round because I think he typically watches every single round anyways. So hopefully next week we'll have some insight into who played well, who didn't play well, who looked like they were trending in the right direction, looks like they're trending in the wrong direction, and then see what other kinds of nuggets Darren can find for us.
I think next week will be very, very interesting. I think it'll be, I think the people who know golf and kind of know the changes in the golf course, what that will do for certain players and their trending and their strengths and weaknesses and all those different factors. I think you can get some real definitive picks next week, and I think next week will actually be easier for the better prognosticator.
Wow. So next week we're getting definitive Darren. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Darren, it was great to see you for like 10 minutes. Hopefully we'll figure that out for next week. Thanks everybody for watching. I know this was relatively long, but that's kind of what you have to do when you're trying to win money. So, thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.